What's up, guys? Welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, crazy people, and anything else we find interesting. And as usual, we'll be checking out some more Reddit posts today. So feel free to share your thoughts about today's stories down in the comments, and we're getting right into it. My boyfriend got in an accident in my car, didn't tell me, and now refuses to do anything about it. Throwaway, because this crap is embarrassing as hell. I, 32 female, have been with my boyfriend, 35, for a little over 3 years. Every once in a while, I will let him drive my car when his is low on gas, or if he has the good parking spot and doesn't want to move, etc., etc. A couple weeks ago, I get a call from my insurance company letting me know they need a statement about the accident. What? After a solid 45 minutes of adamantly proclaiming this lady was full of crap and that there was no accident, the insurance rep said, "Well, we have a report that boyfriend's name was in an accident in blah blah parking lot on this date, claiming he was driving his girlfriend's car." Oh. I call my boyfriend. He denies up and down that there was an accident. I explain the call I received, and he replies with, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that." Apparently, he had been dodging calls for over a month and did not tell me any of this was going on. There was no damage to my car, so there was no reason for me to think anything had happened. So yesterday I was trying to work out with the insurance company details, get him to make a statement, and it's impossible. He stopped responding to my texts about the situation, so I call him. He clears it. I call him again. He clears it. He texts me, "I'm with my parents." "Okay, but this is a serious situation and I need to speak with you about it. Can you please answer?" "I don't want to fight with you in front of my parents." "This isn't a fight. I need details about the accident from you." He won't take my call. So I sent him kind of a crappy text, something along the lines of, "You can't even show me the respect to take my call about something serious? This isn't even a real relationship to you." Silence. Finally, after about 2 hours of radio silence and me very, very upset, I call again. He says, "I don't have the energy to do this with you right now. I'm painting. I don't want to talk." I say, "What about my feelings? What about me?" He says, "What about you?" and hangs up. I haven't heard from him since. I know he is waiting for me to break down in contact, as that has historically been the case. I need some help drafting my response to the situation. I am frozen in shock and pain and am at a loss on what the next step is. Update. It is 12:15 p.m. my time, and still not a word from this fool. He gives no Fs. I am done. Second update. So he contacted. The text I got was, "We have the kind of love that was forged in adventure and sealed in the bedroom." What? No mention of the accident or the fight? How do I even respond to this? And a commenter here says, "Okay, but like the last message he sent to her, 'We have the type of love that's forged in adventure and sealed in the bedroom,' is a quote from the Netflix show Disenchantment." OP says, "It wasn't even an original lame-ass, weak-ass line? Oh, hell no." And moving on to the update. So I know most of you said ghost him, but I just couldn't. While undoubtedly that is what he deserved, I needed to hear from his perspective why he thought any of this was okay before I could close the door. And honestly, I'm glad I did, because it solidified for me that this relationship was an excellent learning experience, that I had done my learning and it was time to move the F on. His avoidance of the situation was explained by his thinking it wasn't that big of a deal. He said that he didn't understand why this lady was making such a big fuss about her bumper, and that I was unreasonably upset about it and he didn't want to talk about it until I had calmed down. Oh, hell no. I kept it together until I got his side of the story. According to him, they were both backing out of their parking spots and smacked into each other. He was all the way out of his spot. She was halfway out of hers when bang. I literally dialed the phone and sat with him while he called the insurance rep and gave his statement. He was found at fault due to his being all the way out of the spot. I'm not 100% sure what this means for me, my policy, or my pocket yet. As far as the relationship, done. When he came over to talk, I had all his things packed up. I tried to explain how hurt and disappointed I was about his actions, and told that I could no longer trust him because of how terribly he handled the situation. He said, I kid you not, "Oh please, you just set a fire and expected me to come to your rescue and put it out, and when I didn't, you threw a fit. I'm sorry, I just didn't have the energy to put out your fire. This is your goddamn fire, set by your crappy actions and fueled by your avoidance." I burst into tears, handed him his bag, and said I needed him to leave. Now. I told him anything of mine left at his place he can throw away. or leave there until his next victim or mother comes and cleans it for him. Speaking of his mother, I did listen to you and craft a very detailed email to her with him CC'd. I explained what happened, and then asked her for his driver's license number and policy name and ID number just in case it's needed. Her response was, "I'm very sorry that you were having to deal with all this, but I don't see how this is our problem if it was your car." I feel like this whole family is a bunch of lizard people sent to Earth to make me question my reality. Anyway, single at 32 again. Woot. I'm sad as f***, but trying to focus on the plus side, as someone said, cutting a bunch of dead-ass weight. Thanks again for all the love and laughs. Oh, and yes, once it is determined how much this is going to affect my rates in my pocket, I will be taking his cartoon quoting ass to small claims court. I've already spoken to my attorney about it. Strange girl claims she's house-sitting for a tenant. Not sure what to do. My husband and I are private landlords. One of our tenants, we'll call him James, left for a trip at the beginning of the summer and asked us to keep an eye on the house while he's gone. I drive past 2 or 3 times a day and stop in every couple days to get mail, water his plants, and check on things. I have his original house key to get in, but I also know where he keeps a spare key. Today my husband went over to mow and water the lawn. He used the key to enter so he could play Xbox while the sprinkler went, with James's permission, and discovered another person in the house. He went back out and called me to ask if James had anyone staying there. I said no and came over to meet him. This time we knocked and the woman answered the door. I asked who she was. She said she was James's girlfriend and she was house-sitting for the summer. We were immediately suspicious because we have been house-sitting for 2 months and have never seen this woman, even though I enter the house 2 to 3 times a week at least, and I've never seen anything indicating someone was living here. Also, James is backpacking out of the country with his boyfriend. While that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have a girlfriend, we know for a fact he's gay and in a committed relationship, so that makes this whole thing even more suspicious. She claimed James gave her a key. On our way out, hubby checked where James hides his spare key, and it's missing when it was there on Wednesday, because I used it when I forgot the regular key. She has no proof she even knows James. We asked her if she had any photos or texts on her phone from James, proving their relationship, and she claimed she doesn't have a cell phone, but a pink studded iPhone was sitting on the coffee table, and wasn't there on Wednesday. We can't get a hold of James to ask him what's up. It will be another 2 weeks before he gets calls to check in, and he doesn't have reliable service. I left a message with his mom in case he calls her, and she said James has never mentioned a girlfriend to her. He's never had a girlfriend in his life, and she's never heard of this girl. She thinks it could be an acquaintance looking for a free place to crash. She offered to sign anything. She has power of attorney for James, to get her out if necessary, but she lives 3 hours away. On one hand, it's not our business who James is seeing or invites to the house. On the other, we have a really bad feeling this girl is here illegally and looking for a free place to live, possibly even trying to steal stuff from the house. Right now, the next-door neighbor's son is outside discreetly watching the house to report if she tries to steal furniture or anything, but so far all she's done is gone swimming and sunbathed in the backyard. What should we do? Hubby wants to call the police and make her prove she has permission, but I'm worried we might be overstepping as landlords. But I also don't want to do nothing if James gets robbed. She claims she's been there for weeks and she might try to say she's a tenant too. What's the best way to handle this? Edit. The neighbor's son watching the house, he just texted, "Miss Parker, I have a really bad feeling she's a stalker. James told my mom that if a girl who looked like her came around to tell him because she's a troublemaker. And mom said she thinks she might be a stalker and to call police if we saw her." So apparently, James might have a stalker and this woman fits the description of the woman they were told to watch out for. And the update was made about 5 hours later. We have no idea what is going on. We met the police at the next-door neighbor's house and explained the situation. They asked us a lot of questions about James, what we knew about the woman, pretty much normal questions. Then the questions got unceasingly weird, like did the woman seem agitated or defensive? Did she appear to be pregnant? Did you see or hear an infant in the house? Did you see any baby items laying around? Did you notice anything unusual about her hair? Did she have any visible birthmarks or deformities? Did she speak with an unusual accent? Things that made no sense at all considering we thought this was a possible robbery. What is the purpose of these questions? The officers asked us to look at some photos and could we identify the woman. During this time, other police officers arrived, and there were 7 to 8 officers at this point, and 3 went over next door to talk to the woman while we stayed at the neighbor's house. She answered the door right away. We couldn't make out what they were saying, but she seemed totally relaxed and happy, not upset or scared. They talked for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, then she stepped out on the porch, and the officers arrested her pretty aggressively. They asked for permission to go through the house, which his mother gave by phone, and asked my husband to list any closets, storage, or crawl spaces. They came back twice asking if there was an attic or a basement, and if we had done any recent work on the walls. We had, but they never explained why or what they were looking for. They also located her blue Ford Fusion parked 3 houses down across the street, which they towed. They did recover the spare key on her person, but they instructed us to replace all of the locks on that key tonight. So we're getting ready to go to Home Depot right now while the neighbor's husband stays in the house. We're also going to look for security cameras. We did mention the possible stalking, but they didn't seem remotely interested in what the neighbor had to say about it. So we have no idea who this woman is, why she was really there, what the police were looking for, what the hell just happened, or what's going to happen next. One officer gave us a business card with his badge number and cell phone number, and wrote down a matter number on the back. So he said to expect a phone call in the next few days if they have any more questions. But they were very hush-hush about what was going on, and the only thing they would tell us is it's an ongoing investigation, and they can't release any information at this time. They won't even tell us if they think James or his boyfriend are involved. I'm freaking the hell out right now. We tried contacting James and his boyfriend for the last few hours with no success. I left a voicemail to call me back as soon as possible, but I didn't want to break the news by voicemail. Hopefully he calls me back soon. What happens next? What happens if James was involved in this? I really don't think he is, but I don't know what to think right now. Tonight has been one big blur and I don't know what we should be doing right now. And that's unfortunately where this post all ends. I went through OP's profile and couldn't really find anything regarding what happened after this. They did respond to a bunch of people commenting on the thread, but I didn't really see anything regarding any updates. So I'm just going to have to assume they either never found out what was going on, or they aren't at liberty to talk about it. Anyway, very, very weird. And that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Reddit content like this. So I'm out of here, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you next time.